Hello, this is me and my daughter Elizabeth, and today we're going to show you how to make a basic white sauce. A white sauce is a great all-around kitchen recipe that will allow you to make all kinds of yummy things from scratch without much effort at all. So it's important to know the basics of how to make a white sauce in preparation for everything from hollandaise to pasta, and of course just maybe a little bit of breakfast eggs over toast with a little bit of white sauce on top. Either way, it is a good all-around recipe as well as an absolute must for any gravies. To begin to make a white sauce, we are going to add 4 tablespoons butter. Now this amount is variable. You can use as much butter as you would like, but it must be real butter. None of that margarine or oil or shortening. It must be real butter. Let's go back to the farm, folks. They had something going on. We're going to turn the stove to about medium high and saute the butter. We don't want the butter to start to caramelize or start to tan or get golden, but we do want a nice rolling boil. Once the butter has boiled and is bubbling nicely, you want to add equal parts flour slowly to the mix. Give the flour a chance to dissolve into the butter before you add more. So for this example, we had 4 tablespoons of butter. We then want to add 4 tablespoons of flour. Saute the flour into the butter for a couple minutes until it starts to thicken. This is the point where your sauces can take a turn for better or worse, or maybe just a different type of sauce. If you want to cook longer until it starts to brown, you can get a tan or blonde sauce, or you can continue to cook it to make a darker brown sauce or demi-glaze. So this is kind of the point where you can experiment and see what you like. The main thing is, of course, to at least cook it long enough to cook off that flour taste. Nobody likes a sauce that tastes like flour. Yuck. Now to have a nice white sauce, you want to begin adding heavy cream. This is a very important ingredient. A lot of recipes will tell you to use milk or half and half even, but again, let's go back to the farm, folks. If you make your food richer and more satisfying, the idea is, of course, that you will be able to eat less of it and feel just as satisfied. Use heavy whipping cream, add it quickly, but not so quick that you wind up with lumps or chunks of flour, but not so fast that you inadvertently add too much cream. It really is kind of a sight process, and the more you do it, the more you will get used to how much you need for the thickness of the sauce you want. Obviously, the more cream you add, the thinner your sauce, which is really preferable if you're going to add a substantial amount of cheese, for example, for Alfredo or nacho cheese sauce. But if you are looking for something more of like a pasta sauce or a hollandaise or even béarnaise, then you want to make sure that you have it pretty thin. Common additions that you can add to this white sauce as far as flavoring are garlic, cheese, of course. Hollandaise requires this to be done with egg yolks as a thickener rather than the flour, as well as lemon. Typical white sauce has a little bit of nutmeg at times. Some people use paprika or cayenne. It really depends on what the purpose for the sauce is. But just as it stands with a little bit of salt and pepper, you can drizzle it on hard-boiled eggs and toast in the morning. Toss it with some pasta and veggies for a quick, light lunch. Amount of possibilities that you can experience in the kitchen just starting with the basic white sauce. So again, basic white sauce, really all you need is butter, real butter of course, flour, equal parts butter, equal parts flour, and of course heavy cream. Let's go back to the farm, folks. Don't skip on the good stuff, just eat less of it. So happy cooking, and maybe we'll see you next time. At this point, it should thicken up slightly, again, depending on how much of the heavy cream you added. If you are planning on adding cheese, which is probably the most common and most popular in my household anyway, addition, then you want to add a little bit less of the heavy cream so that it doesn't thicken up too much. Another thing is to probably turn it down as far as the heat source. As soon as it starts to thicken, it will continue to thicken as it cooks. So if it starts to get to the point where it's looking a little thick, you might want to either add more cream or get it off the stovetop immediately. Keep stirring and hope it doesn't thicken up past the point where it is the sauce you would like.